Friends, today I'm going to be telling you about my hometown, Jackson, Mississippi. When I was growing up back in the 50s and 60s, my father drove for a living much of the time, and he still liked to drive on the weekends, so we always went for Sunday drives, and one of the places we always went was downtown Jackson, and it was really pretty. It was a vital retail area, and it had beautiful architecture. But by the time I got to middle school, it started falling on hard times. And about this time, the retail started dying, and the King Edward Hotel was the last hotel in Jackson about the time of the integration that kept resisting integration. And it was starting to suffer from that, but then when it switched over to integrating, it killed the hotel because the whites in the South just weren't quite ready for that yet. So this was in 1967, and this hotel remained closed and vacant and an eyesore for 40 years. And I'm going to tell you about how it came back into the spotlight. One of the people who was very in charge of revitalizing downtown Jackson said that downtown Jackson's revitalization began and ended with the King Edward Hotel. It had been the center of the downtown all during the early part of the century, and it had been built in like 1923. And at that time, it was sort of the center of the legislative part of where all the legislators would meet, and it was sort of the center of the city, and it just changed. And one of the mayors of Jackson, Andrew Mellon, Mayor Mellon, who was elected in 2004, when he was running, he said one of the things he wanted to do was to tear down the King Edward Hotel because it had become such an eyesore. Well, blessedly, around this time, a salvation to it came along. And what was interesting, integration sort of killed the hotel, but what brought it back was actually the money from a black football player from the New Orleans Saints in concert with other investors. And initially they invested $35 million, and in 2009, it was opened up again. And at this time, they did a wonderful job. For 40 years, this hotel had been nothing but the hangout of pigeons and street people. And much of it had just fallen into ruin. By the time they renovated the hotel, actually they had to gut quite a bit of it because so much of it was just beyond saving. But they did save a lot of the lobby itself, and they saved enough of it that you could sort of recognize some of the sites from before. But the outside was completely renovated. And they also built housing, apartments up on the top. It's an amazing event because not only did it revitalize that area, but around the hotel, they had the Standard Life Hotel, which was an Art Deco masterpiece from the early 20s, the tallest building in the city, and it has fallen on hard times, and they got money to renovate it, put in housing as well as office space. And then right across the street from the hotel was a whole block that when I was there, it was just trashed. And one of the buildings had this thing that said, "Attention, snakes be here." Well, you just don't want to see that in the middle of downtown. Well, they've renovated it all as art lofts. So it's been a major fulcrum for all of the renovation of that part of downtown, and it's become beautiful. And I'm going to show you some pictures of the renovation itself and talk about it. This is a picture of the interior of the King Edward Hotel when it was in ruin. As you can see, it was just really trashed. You can see why so much of it had to be gutted. Graffiti. It looked like people took hatchets and went after the ceiling. Now this is the lobby after it was redone. It was slightly underwhelming to me, but I think they did the best that they could. And I think they tried to keep it close to the way that originally it was. These are the rooms, which don't really feel very historic to me, but they did a nice job with it. It's nice and clean and attractive. The outside at night. Another view of the room. And this is the rental apartments up at the top. Very nice, beautiful floors. You can see what the neighborhood looked like before everything got renovated. It was just very run down and unused. Now all of those apartments you're seeing there are art lofts. That's the Standard Life building, which has been completely renovated. It has offices and apartments in it. That's the lobby inside of it. Thanks for watching, and I'm really proud of what Jackson has done. Thank you.